Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be talking about the drama that unfolded last week between SmartBoom, their companies, Tailai, GIR, that whole cluster. If you are not hyper obsessed with the goings on in the TIBL world, you might not know anything about what I'm talking about. In which case, I would say, congratulations, that's probably healthy. But I am way too involved in this kind of thing, so I know about it. And I am going to break down what happened. We're going to talk through it together, and I might give a little commentary. A quick background on the whole situation. Smart and Boom are the lead actors in the hit breakaway TBL Top Form, which is based on a Japanese manhwa. It was released on WeTV. It has done incredibly well. They were both in shows prior to Top Form, but this really launched them both into the cultural zeitgeist and made them both incredibly famous. They've been doing so many events. They've It's really kind of relaunched them both into the middle of the public eye. Smart was a fan favorite when he was a side character on Don't Say No. He played Leon, Leo's little brother. He was kind of the side romance. And we all hoped for a show that would follow the side romance that never happened, sadly. And Boom was in Chains of Heart, which I did not watch. I heard it was interesting. But like I said, Top Form really relaunched both of them into the middle of the public's eye. They had amazing chemistry in that show. They've got amazing chemistry off stage when they're doing events together. And it's been really fun to kind of watch their promo tour of the show. And then all this kind of started to happen. Really quickly, before we get started, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you are interested in this kind of content, and join my channel memberships if you are so inclined. They are only 99 cents a month. And feel free to follow me on my other social medias. They'll be linked in my link tree in the description box below. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr, and Blue Sky. Beginning with a post that Tailai Entertainment made on their public Instagram. This post was made on June 12th. At least that is when I screenshotted it. And I am going to put it on the screen, but I'm also going to read it for anybody who just has this playing in the background. Also, this could have been posted on June 11th, our time, but it would have been like June 12th in Thailand. The timeline is confusing. I screenshotted this on June 12th. I also made a TikTok live covering all of these various posting back and forth situations. If you want to follow me over there when I post a lot in real time. So, Tailai's post on Instagram was titled Tailai's Letter of Notification, and it was split into 6 points. The points are as follows. Point 1. Top Form the series is a co-investment and co-production between WeTV and Tailai Entertainment. The project has been in development for 2 years, with the ambition of establishing a new ecosystem for Thai BL series that prioritizes high-quality production and long-term sustainability. It is designed as a multi-season series with no fewer than 3 seasons planned. To realize this vision, WeTV and Tailai have invested heavily in copyright licensing, research and development, R&D, including script writing, concept development, and early stage planning, production, and marketing resources. The two companies jointly signed 5-year exclusive talent management contracts with the 4 lead actors, Boom, Smart, Peanut, and Euro. Under these agreements, pardon my pronunciation, you know what? Mr. Smart's full Thai name, music-related activities are managed solely by Grand Ivory Record Co. Limited, further known as GIR, while all other aspects of his career are managed by Headliner, further known as HLN, a talent agency under WeTV, which retains exclusive authority over Smart's career decisions. HLN and Tailai are fully committed to investing capital, promotional resources, and creative opportunities for all 4 artists, enabling them to grow alongside the top form IP and reach international audiences. Point 2. Top Form has achieved historic success on both WeTV and Rakuten TV. As a result, the lead actors have attracted increasing attention from global markets, especially Boom and Smart, who portray the characters Akin and Jin, and have received overwhelming international support. HLN and Tailai's management teams, with a long-term vision for nurturing high-quality talent, have developed a comprehensive range of premium spin-off content, including merchandise, concerts, and derivative series. The goal is to ensure the sustained success of the Top Form IP, its full cast, and the SmartBoom duo. Point 3. On May 12th, which was exactly 1 month before this post was made on June 12th, GIR unilaterally issued a termination statement and subsequently committed serious breaches of contract by independently negotiating and signing Smart for several solo activities without notifying WeTV or Tailai. Notably, they said earlier that GIR solely managed his music career, Smart's music career, and that Headliner HLN was in charge of his acting stuff. So I'm not sure if independently negotiating activities for Smart is something GIR was not allowed to do, considering if they manage his music career, that seems like something that they'd be allowed to do, or if they're saying that they, as Tailai and WeTV, had the exclusive right to do that. I'm not really sure if the point of this was the breach of the contract or the signing of the solo activities. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Point 4. On May 12th, while Top Form was airing new episodes, WeTV, Tailai, and the production team became concerned that GIR's unilateral breach of contract might negatively affect the audience's viewing experience. Immediate efforts were made to initiate communication, during which HLN and Tailai clearly conveyed their long-term plans for SmartBoom, Smart's solo career, and the Top Form franchise, including the global fan meeting tour, Top Form concert, and sequel series. However, all of these plans were rejected by GIR and the artist Smart, with the exception of joint activities contractually confirmed prior to May 12th. Smart has refused to participate in any new joint appearances. As a result, all planned duo activities under discussion by Tailai and HLN have been forced to halt, including, but not limited to, the June 1st SmartBoom commercial livestream and the June SmartBoom fashion magazine shoot and the June SmartBoom fan meeting. Point 5. On May 17th, so 5 days after this alleged contract termination, WeTV issued a statement clarifying its talent management agreement with Smart and sent a legal notice to GIR, warning that if GIR continued to act unilaterally, both Smart and GIR would face serious consequences for breach of contract, including substantial damage to the Top Form IP and significant harm to the other cast members. Point 6. Over the past month, we have devoted considerable time and effort to engage in communication and negotiation. Unfortunately, GIR and Smart have consistently refused to reach an amicable solution. Top Form was meant to be a brilliant chapter, and it is with deep regret that Tailai, WeTV, and the entire production team acknowledge Smart's final decision. Given the current circumstances, we will suspend all resource support for Smart's future artistic career and instead focus our full efforts on the development of the other artists. In due course, WeTV and Tailai will jointly announce the next phase of plans for Top Form and for the artists Boom, Peanut, and Euro. We sincerely thank you for your continued attention and support and hope you will continue walking with us as the story unfolds. We're just getting started. So this, understandably, caused a firestorm online. People were freaking out. People were like, Are SmartBoom over? It sounds like they're over. Is Smart not going to work with them anymore? Is he not going to be in future seasons? Is he not going to promote with them anymore? What does this mean for the show? What does this mean for SmartBoom? Because shortly prior to this, SmartBoom officially announced themselves as a CP, as like a co-partnership, a co-pairing. And they even announced a fandom name, which I believe is pronounced Oralis. Or I don't think it's like Oralis. Oralis. I believe it was announced about 3 weeks ago. So like 2 weeks before this announcement. And their name is Oralis. I'll put the name so you'll be able to see it. So everyone was like, why would they put so much work into everything that it takes to launch a CP, even having a fandom name in all of this, just to do something like this so shortly after? Like, a CP is different from just a pair that works together. Like, Pond and Kuhart starred in Forever You together, but they're not a CP. They worked together for the show, they did promo for the show, and they're probably going to be in the following seasons if their characters are needed, but they're not a CP like Off Gun. Off Gun and Earth Mix, for example, work together over and over again. They have fandom names, they do fan events together. A CP is a lot more than just two people that work together. Like Zenunu, for example, think like that. So it takes a lot of time, effort, and resources to launch a CP. So everyone just couldn't believe it that they had just launched as a CP, had gotten a fandom name, and now all of this was happening. And of course, Tailai really calls out not just GIR, but Smart specifically. So people start flooding his social media with all of these comments, like demanding that he address the situation, which honestly, I'm happy he didn't immediately, because it's never smart to just jump into the situation and start talking about stuff. It's the older you get, the more you understand silence really can be golden. And he will address it. I'll get to that at a later point in this video, but it was a shit show, for lack of a better term. So later that day for us here in America, but on June 13th in Thailand, a official statement was released by Grand Ivory Record Co., aka Smart's music management company.
I realize now, is Smart's management, and they only partnered with Headliner for to perform. Sorry for the confusion.
I mistakenly in my TikToks referred to them as Golden Ivory. They are Grand Ivory, so that was a mistake on my part. Also, keep in mind as I am reading this that it is pointedly made as on the bottom of their Instagram post that this is translated by AI. So take of that what you will. And this was posted on Grand Ivory Records' Instagram. Official statement by Grand Ivory Record, subject, clarification on the termination of artist management agreement and response to false allegations. Date 11th June 2025. First and foremost, Grand Ivory Record Co. Limited, the company, or GIR, wishes to express its appreciation for the production team's dedication to top form the series. The company has consistently provided full cooperation throughout the course of the project, especially in ensuring the well-being, readiness, and schedule management of our artist. Smart Chisanupong Pwangmani, pardon pronunciation. I felt braver this time trying to pronounce it, further known as the artist, in support of this series. However, considering the recent public statement issued by Tailai Entertainment, which contains serious allegations against our company and the artist, specifically regarding unilateral breach of contract and refusal to engage in negotiation, the company would like to clarify the facts and protect the reputation and rights of the artist as follows. Point 1, reason for contract termination, a result of professional misconduct, not personal conflict. The artist management contract was entered into directly between Grand Ivory Record Co., the artist agency, and Image Future Thailand Co. Limited, Headliner, basically HLN. Tailai Entertainment was not a party to this contract, nor was the contract signed directly with the artist, contrary to what was falsely claimed in public communications. This leads me to believe that Tailai had a contract with Headliner, not specifically with Smart, which makes sense. I would believe that that was how things were probably done just for contract and safety purposes. It's kind of a layer of protection for the artist. So it makes sense to me that this contract would have been signed at a company level and not necessarily an individual level. But I don't know. I'm not involved in that world. So maybe I'm wrong. The decision to terminate the contract was not made arbitrarily or unilaterally. It was the result of repeated and prolonged professional misconduct by the other party, including, but not limited to, restricting the artist's access to personal social media platforms, specifically Weibo and RedNote, by withholding usernames and passwords and denying the artist the right to control their own content. Failure to communicate critical job details such as schedule, location, and expectations in advance. Omission of fee disclosures prior to engagements, and intentional withholding of payment related information, even after repeated inquiries from the company. Lack of empathy or care when the artist became ill. Instead, the artist and the company were pressured to sign documents accepting full liability if the artist could not attend work. This is a point that I I don't really know if this is against industry standard or not. I know that the acting world can be pretty ruthless, so to me it kind of makes sense that like, oh, if you're sick, then you're taking full liability, but I don't know if they mean full liability if like an event has to get canceled, they specifically have to like refund everybody or something. I don't really know exactly what they're referring to here, but if it's just like, oh, you won't get paid if you can't attend an event, that kind of makes sense to me. But if they mean something deeper than that, um, that could be where a bit of my confusion is lying. Because, yeah, I would assume one of the perks of signing a contract like company to company is you don't get all of the liabilities. So if that's the case, then that doesn't make full sense to me. But again, I'm not 100% sure if that's exactly what they're saying here. So I'm not really sure. I think this is where the AI translation kind of fails. The next point, no compensation, accountability, or acknowledgement of the physical and emotional impact caused to the artist. Again, I'm not 100% sure what they mean by this because, on the one hand, I'm thinking, okay, like you're an actor, you kind of understand the demands that come along with that. But I'm wondering if they're meaning like, was there physical and emotional like harm done from one company to Smart? And if so, like, what are they really trying to say? What does that entail? There's a little bit of murkiness to this point. The next point, continuous denial of access to essential accounts despite multiple formal requests from the company to return the credentials. So this seems to just be expanding on restricting access to his Weibo and his RedNote, despite repeated, like, hey, give us the passwords. And I don't know if this is normal for artists to give companies that they're in multiple contracts with the passwords to their accounts and for, I guess, the company to then change those passwords without the artist's knowledge. Is that what they're saying happened? Because if so, that's not cool. But also, is it normal for an artist to give their passwords to these companies? I guess it would make sense for ease of like posting promotional content, but I don't know. Is that normal? Like I wouldn't want to do that. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to slam my microphone. I wouldn't want to do that. I would be like, "Hey, just send it to my people and my people will take care of it." Like we'll meet the contractual obligations of posting that we have, but like I'm not giving you my password for stuff. Like I don't know. Is that normal? Like this is why I'm not an actor. I don't know. It seems weird to me. They go on to say, as the direct managing agency of the artist, which again is confusing because are they only managing his musical aspect of his career? Because I thought Headliner was managing his acting. I'm not sure. I could be getting lost in the weeds here. The company cannot accept behavior that violates basic human dignity. Therefore, we exercise our contractual and legal rights to terminate the agreement in order to protect the artist's welfare and future career. Point 2, clarification. The company has never rejected joint work or separated the CP. The company categorically denies any claim that it has refused joint engagements or attempted to separate the artist CP SmartBoom. This accusation is entirely baseless. I don't know if Tailai directly said that they were attempting to separate the CP, but I guess they were kind of implying it. So I understand what they're saying here. What the company has always requested is clear and complete information before confirming any engagement, something that is standard practice in all professional partnerships. That makes perfect sense to me. If I was expected to be at an event for some reason, I would want to know the details of the event, the pay of the event, and my what was expected of me from the event. I think that's pretty standard in most jobs, but especially a job like this. In reality, the other party persistently failed to provide adequate information, ignored repeated requests for clarification, and failed to respond in a timely and professional manner. This lack of transparency made it impossible for the company or the artist to proceed confidently. Furthermore, the claim that we refuse joint work is demonstrably false. Currently, GIR and HLN have joint projects scheduled for the artist CP in several countries through October 2025, with documentation actively in process. Tailai's accusation in this regard is not only false, but constitutes serious defamation, causing reputational harm to the company, the artist, the Top Form IP, and all fellow cast members involved. Point the third. Additional clarification on alleged work refusals. SmartBoom commercial live stream on the 1st of June. The company only requested that Tailai refrain from using the artist's Weibo and RedNote accounts until access credentials were returned. This was not a refusal of work in any way. And this makes sense to me. If I was wanting my credentials and passwords to my accounts back and I wasn't getting them back, I would also say, like, hey, I will participate as soon as you give me back those passwords. Like, I'm not refusing to participate, but I am basically using the only leverage he really had to get his passwords back, which, I mean, again, I'm not in this industry, but is something that would want. I think is normal for the artist to have, the passwords of their own social media accounts. Especially, I mean, maybe if he doesn't even have them, at least like Headliner or GIR should have them. Like, being an artist is weird, and there's a lot of weird things that I would never want to have in my own personal life. But at the very least, Tailai should not be the only company that has his passwords. And the next point, SmartBoom fashion shoot and fan meeting in June of 2025. The company, being GIR, was never informed about these events. The first notice received was from Tailai's own public announcement. To date, no schedule, job brief, or contract has ever been made regarding these events. The company must ask, how could we cancel work we were never even informed about? Reading this back again now to make this video, you can really tell this was translated by AI. Like, you can if you know AI stuff, you know what I'm talking about. You can really tell. Point 4, our position. We remained silent out of respect, not weakness. The company has always prioritized professionalism, integrity, and fairness in every partnership. As a smaller organization working with larger entities, we have been cautious with every word and action, out of respect, not fear. But when false narratives are deliberately presented to the public, the company has no choice but to defend the artist's integrity and the company's reputation. We emphasize the danger caused in this project was not due to any action by GIR or the artist, but rather from repeated failures in transparency, professionalism, and accountability by the other party. Once again, we reaffirm, at no point has GIR attempted to separate the CP, refuse joint engagements, or harm the image of the Top Form IP or any involved parties, past, present, or future. Point 5, final message to fans and industry partners. The company deeply thanks the fans, supporters, and professional partners who have stood by the artist during this difficult time. We will continue to care for our artists with unwavering professionalism, security, and dignity, not as assets, but as human beings who deserve respect. For us, an artist is not a tool for work. An artist is a person with value, a voice, and a heart. Finally, the company wishes to state one clear truth. As a series producer, you must know well that a series cannot happen without its actors. This kind of feels like a threat, And I mean, I am not really trying to take a side here. Really, my thoughts and feelings are with the artists, Smart and Boom specifically, not with the companies. But they're kind of making it seem like, well, what are you even going to do without Smart? To which I say, again, I loved Smart. He did amazing. I hope he can be in all the future seasons. But I'm here to say, like, they're acting like people don't get recast all the time. And I'm not saying it would be nearly as successful without Smart or the chemistry that Smart and Boom have, but I am saying people get recast all the time. So let's not throw these playground threats back and forth via Instagram releases. I don't know. I'll get on that in a minute. The release continues to say, "We are always grateful that you chose the artist under our management to be part of the cast. And even though our collaboration has now come to an end, if in the future you still see the value in this artist and have the professionalism to honor agreements, the company remains open to discussion and future collaboration, as long as it is under a fair, transparent, and mutually respectful framework. Whether or not there will be future projects, that decision lies entirely with you," being Tailai. "But if you are still professional and willing to work with openness, our door is always open. In the end, what we value most is every single artist under our care." Now, again, the internet was in a firestorm about this. People were like, oh my God, they confirmed it. Smart Boom is over. The CP's broken up. They said, like, if you still want to work with Smart in the future, call us, basically. And it was just a lot. And I mean, Tailai leveled some serious accusations against GIR and Smart. Smart is, and pardon me, really it's GIR, not Smart, is here firing back, basically saying, we never refused work. We were just asking for basic standards of our contractual obligations and like all this other stuff. And you weren't fulfilling your end of the contract. And so we didn't see any choice but to terminate. To basically, what I feel like kind of happened was to really bring Tailai to the negotiating table, because it seems like from this, Tailai was not willing to work with GIR or Smart. And GIR really felt like they had no choice but to be like, okay, like if you're not even going to work with us, we can't work with you. And so we're going to just terminate. And it seemed to be the only thing that brought Tailai to the table. So, I mean, I'm not saying it was the right or the wrong decision, but I see where GIR was coming from. But also at the end, I just hate that all of this schoolyard back and forth Instagram drama had to happen. I mean, between two professional companies, there's no reason that these things could not have been negotiated behind closed doors. Ultimately, I don't know which company was more at fault than the other. I definitely do not blame the artists for this. This is clearly a squabble between companies. And I am just disappointed that this couldn't stay in a boardroom. This couldn't stay in emails and meetings, that this had to go to Instagram. Like, it really feels like two middle school bullies squabbling back and forth with each other. It's just very disappointing to see two professional companies act this way on social media. But the firestorm was continuing. I mean, is Smart Boom still over? Maybe, maybe not. What's going on? Nobody knows. Smart isn't saying anything. And again, I understand why he was quiet for a while. He needed to formulate a well thought out, grown up response. And I hate that he even had to say anything in the first place. Again, I really wish this could have just been settled by the companies. But at this point, his socials were getting flooded with people demanding a response, which I equivocally reject that he had to say anything. I saw people in the comments saying, like, if you don't say anything, we're gonna go start to support like Peanut Boom. And I'm like, it has not even been 24 hours. Give the man a chance to breathe. And also, again, this really is between GIR and Tailai. And I just hate how affected he was in The next part of our story, he did an Instagram live. Smart did an Instagram live. And I didn't watch the whole thing because most of it was in Thai, but it was heart-wrenching to see how affected he was. He was crying. He was clearly very emotional about the situation and probably pretty emotional about all of the backlash and these horrible comments he was getting on his social media. Like, I would have been similarly affected. But the important takeaway from his live is that he basically said, Smart and Boom are still working together. We are not over. We are still a CP, basically. I will include a clip here from my TikTok that I stitched to, again, further make videos on TikTok about the situation.
We still work together.
So, really, what he was saying is that he and Boom are still going to work together. So, we're all everybody's just in a tizzy, basically. Everybody's just spiraling like a freaking tornado, like the Roadrunner or something. But, okay, yay, they're still going to work together. Then on June 16th, GIR posted another release again to their Instagram, maybe other places as well. I actually haven't read it yet. I screenshotted it and then decided I wanted to kind of make a video on this. And so we are going to read it together. I'll also put it on the screen if you want to read it, but honestly, the text is pretty small. So good luck. But anyway, subject clarification regarding Smart Chisanupong and recent concerns. Over the past few weeks, the business relationship involving Mr. Chisanupong Pongmani, or Smart, an artist under our management, has undergone changes that have caused public concern and confusion online. We, Grand Ivory Record Co. Limited, are deeply concerned about this situation and would like to provide clarification, along with updates on the future of the SmartBoom project. Yesterday, after participating in an event, Smart expressed sincere gratitude and remorse toward fans who have always cared for and supported him. This was on June 16th, by the way. Don't know if I said that. So yesterday would have been June 15th, like 2 days after all this happened. In light of this, our relevant departments have decided to accelerate the release of this statement to help reassure everyone of the ongoing plans and partnership regarding SmartBoom. We hope this brings clarity and renewed optimism for their future. Point 1, artist management and contractual relationship. Smart has been under Grand Ivory's legal management since 2020, starting as a trainee and undergoing professional training in singing, dancing, rap, acting, and entertainment related skills. Initially, we had prepared for him to release a solo mini album by the end of 2024, with over 70% of the work already completed. However, when Smart was cast in the Top Form series, we signed a special agreement with Headliner Thailand to co-manage only the parts related to his involvement in that series. All other activities remained solely under Grand Ivory's management. We made this partnership decision in good faith to support his career growth and to facilitate smooth collaboration. As part of this, we paused the mini album plans so Smart could focus fully on the new project. Unfortunately, during this collaboration, we encountered serious management issues and breaches of agreement that affected the artist's rights. Despite multiple attempts to resolve these issues through meetings, the situation remained unresolved. Therefore, we officially terminated the original agreement in writing in accordance with legal provisions and the contract terms. Currently, we are in active discussions with Headliner Thailand to finalize a new agreement that will allow continued cooperation under the SmartBoom project. Our shared goal is to create a more stable and warm environment for fans who love and support them. This renewed commitment reaffirms our intention to ensure the continuity of SmartBoom. Ongoing plans. Before the new agreement is signed, Grand Ivory and Headliner Thailand, as exclusive partners, have been working together to plan international appearances and activities for the CP through at least October 2025. Due to business confidentiality, we cannot disclose full details at this time, but we assure fans that there has never been any plan to separate the CP, and Smart will continue working alongside his co-star as originally planned. The rights to BL Series performances will remain exclusively with the Top Form the Series project. Point 3, clarification regarding allegations. We want to firmly and clearly state that we have never rejected any CP work for Smart. Any suggestion that we refuse such opportunities is a serious accusation that has deeply impacted both the company and the artist. All work decisions are handled through the appropriate professional processes. Point 4, commitment to collaboration and professional ethics. We remain open to working with all parties based on principles of professionalism, mutual respect, and transparency. We are committed to fair and sincere cooperation. Our artists are human beings with dignity, not business tools. We will continue to protect and support them with the highest ethical standards. We sincerely thank all fans and partners in the industry who continue to stand by us. We promise to uphold our responsibility and care for every artist under our wing with integrity and professionalism. Final note, we sincerely apologize for not communicating our partnership more clearly in the past. This lack of communication may have led to misunderstandings, confusion, and disappointment, resulting in a loss of trust. We are committed to restoring that trust with sincerity and clarity. Going forward, we will continue fulfilling our responsibilities to ensure that the artist's work progresses smoothly and successfully. Please believe in our dedication to SmartBoom, and to all of you. With deepest respect, Grand Ivory Co., 15th June, 2025. So that is where everything has basically landed. SmartBoom are still together. They're still going to promote together. Apparently, there are contract negotiations going on to keep Smart as part of the Top Form universe. So he would theoretically be in future seasons and continue promoting with everybody. But I just worry that all of this would cause some bad blood. Smart is the only one of the main four under GIR. The rest are under Tailai. And I'm just having flashbacks to Love by Chance when Saint was the only actor represented by a different management company. And it led to a whole host of problems. I really, really hope that these two companies can be more professional than that. Though, from what we've seen, they could maybe use some further training in that department. But again, it's kind of hard to say because I really do kind of feel like GIR was doing this termination, A, because they were trying to protect Smart, but also because they were just fed up. They were like, okay, like Tailai won't come to the table. This is the only thing we can do. And either way, we'll protect Smart because we'll either terminate the contract or this is what will force Tailai to come to the table. And clearly it worked, or I guess headliner to come to the table. I'm a little confused about all of that, but clearly it worked and they're renegotiating a contract that they'll feel better about and that hopefully Smart will feel better about. But again, I really just hate that all of this had to happen this way. Like, I just wish this all could have been taken care of professionally in meeting rooms, but it kind of seems like GIR was trying to do that and either Tailai or Headliner wasn't coming to the table to negotiate with them. And so, like I said, GIR kind of felt like this was the only thing that they could really do. I don't know if I'm misinterpreting the situation, but that kind of is what it seems like to me. As far as I know, the other three actors that they kept mentioning haven't said anything about this, and I really don't blame them. I don't think they should, especially now that it's all kind of settled from this final notice. I think it'll just stir things up again. I hate that Smart even had to say anything, but again, the people on social media were just relentless, and I don't blame him for coming on to want to say something to kind of like chill people out and like quiet them down a little bit. He was getting some really nasty comments. But as always, what do you guys think about all of this? Were you online when all this was going down? Are you only hearing about it now? Did you get the full story? Did I show you an aspect you hadn't seen yet? I'm just so curious to hear what everybody has to think about this, and it's just messy. I genuinely just cannot believe how messy all of this was. As always, a really quick shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys so incredibly much, and I'm still just so incredibly thankful that people even want to join my channel memberships. So big hearts to you guys. But that is all for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.